It's the THEMOSHOW Chicago, and we are back again, this time in gray skies. It's not sunny outside today at all. But if this is your first time watching the THEMOSHOW, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a terrific way to jumpstart your conversation. But before we get started with today's conversation, I want to welcome myself back here on social media. I took off for a week, traveled, enjoyed myself, met some new people, made some new acquaintances. And today's conversation just happens to be about 3 Marines and 1 porn star who tried to organize a death squad to massacre Black Lives Matter protesters in Boise, Idaho. Unbelievable. And they want you to join the military. Now, according to the story which I found in Huffington Post, you have Liam Collins, pictured here. You have Duncan Jordan, pictured here. You have Justin Wade Hermanson, pictured here. And you have Paul Kryskuk, pictured here. These 4 individuals are part of a heavily armed neo-Nazi group. And if I'm not mistaken, it is the Adam Waffer Division, where they trained heavily, sold arms, used arms, okay? Now, according to the story, 2 of these individuals met back in 2017 at an Iron March. And if you're not familiar with what an Iron March is, that is a white supremacist event where white supremacy get together and discuss their agenda. Now, when they met, they had dreamed about this modern day SS, and this is Collins and Duncan Jordan that I'm speaking of. Now, these 2 dreamed about this in 2017, of how they would make a modern day SS squad, whereas they would exercise, hike, train with arms, buy land, and prepare for the race war. They went on after 2017 and recruited 2 more people, okay, which was the 2 more soldiers, which were Harkinson and Collins. Now, ironically, all 3 of these individuals were based at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. Now, I myself, being a former veteran, it is outrageous that I view a story like this where you have Marines forming hit squads to massacre Black Lives Matter protesters. This is outrageous. But it even gets juicier, because according to the story, they used the Marine base, Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, as the breeding ground for recruitment. I'm going to say that again. They use Camp Lejeune as a breeding ground for recruitment for this white supremacist neo-Nazi group. Older white supremacists went on to say that they encourage younger white supremacists to go into the military to get the training. It's for free. Not to mention the fact that you get to travel and meet other neo-Nazi people just like yourself. Anybody out there that's a veteran that has experienced any type of white supremacist ideology while they were in the military? Because if you have, you're not by yourself. Because according to the report, 1/3 of all active duty soldiers have witnessed personally white nationalism and white ideology, neo-Nazi ideology, in the American military. Now, I'm sure that number is low, because there was many soldiers who probably did not even take the survey. But I warn you, and I tell you, from being in the military, that is absolutely true. So don't think just because you're in the military that you don't have white supremacists that's in the military that would actually kill you, because they will. They will. It's just like a gang inside of a gang, you know, because when you're in the military, you are in a gang. And when you are in a neo-Nazi, white supremacist group, fascist group, you are in a gang. Now, these four individuals, Liam Collins, Duncan Jordan, Jordan Duncan, Paul Kreiskuck, and Justin Wade Harkinson, these people have been charged with weapons violations and selling guns. The federal government opted out to charge them as national terrorists. What? Look, you can be a gangbanger throwing up GDs, foes, souls, Crip, and blood, and they will label you as a terrorist according to the Patriot Act that George Bush put into play. But neo-Nazis who formed a death squad group to massacre Black Lives Matter are not considered terrorists? Whew. Unbelievable. Can anybody answer that for me? Can anybody answer that for me? What do you think? Do you think that being characterized as a terrorist because you are a Crip, Blood, GD, Vice Lord, Foe, Soul, whatever gang you in, you are categorized as a terrorist by the U.S. government, but if you form a death squad, which originated from neo-Nazis, and you say that you got a plot, you got caught forming a plot to massacre Black Lives Matter protesters, you're not considered a terrorist? Y'all better wake up. The federal government opted out to charge them with the hate crime. They not even get charged with that. They can do it again. I'm just saying. If convicted on the weapons charge, according to the Huffington Post, they chose Boise, Idaho because of the affordable land, because it's a predominantly white society, and because of the conservative state government, which would make it easier for them to propagate their mission. That's why they chose it. And all of them had moved in together, got some land, getting ready for the race war. So if you're not getting ready, like these white people are getting ready, shame on you. Now, all of these good white people that's out here, that's not like these neo-Nazi people, y'all need to talk to them, okay? Because when y'all start this race war thing, it's going to be real bloody. It's going to be real bad. Nobody's going to be able to come outside because everybody's going to be too afraid of what's going to happen. But this is the hate that hate produced. This is the hate that hate produced. It is sad that I have to bring you this story as a veteran of the U.S. military, that you have white supremacists that's in the military forming death squads to kill black people. That's just real talk. And you wonder how the police academy was infiltrated by the KKK. It's just not on the city level or state level. It's on the federal level. And the federal government won't indict their federal employees or former federal employees, because when you're in the military, you are a federal employee. I'm just saying. So what do? So next time you see that sign, Uncle Sam wants you, you think twice. Going to the military seems like going to prison today. You don't know if you're going to come home or not. And sadly, it might not be the ops that get you. It'll be one dressed in battle green uniform looking just like you, blow your brains out from your back of your head. Imagine that. What do you think? What do you think about white supremacist groups being inside of the military? What do you think about the military bases being used as breeding grounds for recruitment? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section. And thanks for viewing. It's your brother, the MOSHOW Chicago, and remember, it is your third eye that makes you shine like jewelry. Thanks for viewing.